Okay, imagine this. You're thinking about your future, maybe picturing this horizon full of opportunities. And for a lot of people, especially from India, that horizon, it always seems to be Australia,
Hmm.
it's just consistently been that place. World-class study, the promise of maybe a new life.
Yeah,
But like any path, things change, the landscape shifts.
it certainly does.
So today we're doing a deep dive into the Studying in Australia Indian Student Guide 2025. Our mission really is to cut through all the noise, all the recent updates and policy changes.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
Exactly. We want to clarify what's really important now and basically give you the insights you need to, well, navigate it all successfully. Think of this as your strategic briefing, give you an edge.
Indeed. And the world of international education, it's just so dynamic. These policy shifts, they can have really big impacts, ripple effects.
Hmm.
So what's really crucial now, I think, is making sense of all these new details, grasping what they actually mean for you, for your application, and laying it out simply. We want to make sure you have those critical, actionable insights, make the best decisions.
Absolutely. We've spent time going through the latest guide, pulling out the really key bits of info, so hopefully you don't have to wade through it all yourself.
Mm.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Why Australia? I mean, beyond the beaches and the kangaroos, what keeps pulling students in?
Well, it's a few things, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. You've got universities that are consistently ranked, like really high globally. The standard of education is just top-notch across so many fields.
That's fundamental.
And then there's the environment itself. It's genuinely multicultural, vibrant. You're not just getting a piece of paper, a degree. You're getting this global perspective, meeting people from everywhere.
That's a huge part of the experience.
And let's be honest, for many, the big draw is still those pathways, right? The routes towards permanent residency after you graduate. That makes it a really powerful long-term option.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is that it's not just about the degree. Australia really presents itself as this, well, holistic destination.
Holistic. How so?
It's that blend, you see.
Mhm.
The academic excellence, the quality of the unis, the research, the learning environment, combined with these really tangible long-term opportunities. Career development, potential settlement.
Got
So your
it.
education, it really can be a deliberate stepping stone towards a new life. And that kind of dual benefit, that's still a massive draw for ambitious students.
Right, that makes sense. A dual investment.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've painted that appealing picture of Australia. Now let's pivot. Let's get into the ground rules, specifically these vital new academic and visa requirements, the ones changing the game for 2025.
The nitty-gritty.
Yeah. First up, the academic basics. They seem mostly the same, right? For a bachelor's, you're generally looking at, what, 65% minimum in class 12?
Typically, yes. That's a common benchmark.
And for a master's, it's usually around 60% minimum in your undergrad study.
Correct. That's the general expectation for postgraduate entry.
And, of course, the English test. That's non-negotiable. You need those valid scores, IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, one of those.
Absolutely essential. But, while those academic benchmarks are the foundation, the visa changes for 2025.
Yeah.
That's where the strategy really comes in.
Right.
Understanding these changes up front, it's not just helpful anymore. It's absolutely critical for a smooth application. Stress-free, hopefully.
Okay, let's dive into those visa changes then, the nuts and bolts. Now, this point about the confirmation of enrollment, the COE, that really stood out. Can you explain why that's not just some minor paperwork tweak? Why is it a big shift?
The COE. Yeah, that's a big one. Look, the new rule needing a confirmation of enrollment, it's not just another form. It signals that Australia wants, well, pre-committed students.
Pre-commit.
Yes. It fundamentally changes your whole application strategy. I mean, gone are the days where you could maybe juggle a few offer letters, weigh your options.
Right, keep things open.
Not anymore, not for the visa stage. Now, you need to be decisive. You generally have to make that financial commitment, secure the official COE from the university before you can even lodge your visa application.
Wow, okay. So that pushes a big decision much earlier.
Exactly. It front loads a really significant part of the commitment, which means, doing your homework on the course, the uni, your finances. It's more critical than ever. It forces a much earlier, much more serious choice.
That makes a lot of sense. And this COE thing, it feels like it ties into the other big change, this new genuine student test, the GST. That's replacing the old GTE requirement, right?
Correct. The genuine temporary entrant, or GTE, is out.
So GST instead. What's the practical difference for someone applying? Is it just a new name?
No, not just a rebrand. It's actually quite a significant shift in focus. You see, the old GTE, it often seemed to scrutinize your intention to, well, return home after studying.
Right, proving you wouldn't overstay.
Yeah, sort of. The new GST, however, it dives much deeper into your genuine commitment to the studies themselves and how those studies logically fit with your future career paths.
Okay, so more about the study plan itself.
Precisely. Immigration officials are now looking for a clear, logical story, an academic and career progression that makes sense. So for example, if you did a bachelor's in, say, hospitality, and now you're applying for a master's in IT.
That seems like a big jump.
It is. And under the GST, you'll need a very compelling explanation for that jump. You'll need to clearly articulate why this makes sense for your career goals. Maybe show evidence of bridging courses you've taken or relevant work experience or a really well-researched career plan that justifies that choice.
So they want to see it's a thought-out move, not just...
Not just a convenient way to get a visa, exactly. They want to see it's a genuine educational and professional investment on your part.
Okay, so these new requirements, the COE demanding early commitment, the GST focusing on strategic alignment, how does that change the whole timing aspect, like planning when to apply? Are those intake periods still the same?
Well, you've hit on a really critical point there.
Yeah.
Australia still technically has its main intakes February, July, and November.
Yeah, the usual ones.
But the flexibility around them, that's significantly reduced. Given the COE requirement we talked about, the new GST scrutiny, and just generally stricter checks, applying early is paramount.
So no more waiting till the last minute.
Absolutely not. You really can't afford to be late in this new environment. Waiting too long risks not getting your COE sorted in time or finding that spots in popular courses are just gone.
Because of more competition.
More competition, and also these new enrollment caps we'll probably touch on later. Early, thorough preparation for your chosen intake is just essential now.
Right. And building on that, timing and choosing the right course seem interlinked. Are there specific fields that, offer more than just good education, maybe stronger links to future opportunities in Australia?
Definitely. And this is where thinking strategically can really pay off.
Yeah.
Look, lots of fields are popular, but certain high-demand areas, they don't just offer great job prospects in Australia. They often align more directly with those potential migration pathways later on.
Okay. Like what sort of fields?
We're talking about sectors like IT, especially things like data science, cybersecurity. Various types of engineering are always in demand. Healthcare is huge, nursing, allied health professionals. Business analytics is another growing one, and even specific niches within hospitality.
Interesting.
So for you, the listener, it means looking beyond just what subject interests you academically, and also considering how that course choice can be that dual investment we mentioned. An investment in your education, sure, but also potentially in your long-term career and life goals down under.
Okay, so let's follow that thread. What does this all mean if your goal does include potentially staying on, getting permanent residency in Australia? Are there courses that offer a, clearer path?
Absolutely. If PR is definitely something you're thinking about, then aligning your studies with Australia's skilled migration lists is, frankly, a very smart move.
Okay.
There are definitely specific courses with a much clearer PR focus. Fields where Australia consistently says, we need people.
Such as?
We're talking nursing, definitely. Aged care is another big one. Various teaching specializations, secondary teachers, early childhood. And critically, many construction trades. Think electricians, plumbers, carpenters.
Right, the skills shortages areas.
Exactly. These aren't just jobs that are easy to find. These occupations frequently appear on Australia's official skilled migration lists. That provides a much more direct, structured pathway for applying for migration after your studies.
So choosing one of those could essentially link your degree directly to a long-term plan.
It really can. It connects your education to a strategic route towards living and working in Australia long-term, if that's the goal.
Okay, good to know. Now, beyond the study path and the PR potential, Australia does still have some pretty appealing benefits for students, right? And their families. Can you remind us about the post-study work rules and family allowances?
Sure. The post-study work visa, that remains a really significant draw, depending on what you studied, and importantly, where in Australia you studied. Regional areas often get longer periods.
Right, the regional bonus.
Yeah. You could be eligible to stay and work for, up to 2, 3, even 4 years after you graduate. That gives you invaluable time to get local work experience, build your career.
Which is huge.
It is. And it's not just you, the student. Australia generally allows your spouse and other eligible family members like dependent children to accompany you while you study.
That's a big factor for many, I imagine.
It really is. For lots of international students, studying abroad isn't just an individual decision. It's a family plan. So knowing your loved ones can join you makes a huge difference.
Yeah, if we connect that to the bigger picture, like you said earlier about the holistic approach, those benefits, the work rights, the family aspect, they really do make it a more comprehensive package.
They do. It acknowledges that this is often a major life change, not just a 2-year course.
It suggests Australia is interested in people potentially building a life there, not just passing through for a degree.
I think that's fair to say. That holistic approach, allowing for a richer, more integrated experience for students and their families, that often sets Australia apart.
Okay, but there always seems to be a but. Alongside those benefits, there are these new visa policies we need to talk about.
Right.
Let's unpack the stricter documentation side first, because stricter doesn't just mean more pages,
Yeah.
right? It's about something else.
Exactly. It's about verifiability and consistency. This is a really critical area where, honestly, applicants can easily slip up.
How so? Like with money.
Yeah, financial proof is a classic example. It's generally not enough anymore to just show a bank statement with a large sum that appeared yesterday. Authorities are now looking much more closely at the source of those funds. Where did the money come from? If a big chunk appears suddenly, you'll likely need clear, documented proof, like an official loan sanction letter, maybe property sale documents, proof of ongoing, verifiable employment income over time. It needs a clear trail.
Okay, so traceability is key. What about academic records?
Similar story. There's much more rigorous cross-checking happening now, often directly with your previous institutions. So any little discrepancies between the documents you submit and what the university has on file, that could raise serious red flags, cause delays, or worse.
So absolute accuracy is vital.
Utterly vital. The emphasis is all on authenticity and having a clear, traceable, consistent history for all the information you provide. No gaps, no inconsistencies.
That level of detail, yeah, I can see how people might overlook that. And it raises another important question, thinking about future applicants. These new enrollment caps for universities. Limits on international student numbers. What does that mean for someone planning to apply soon?
That's a very significant development and relatively new. These enrollment caps basically mean universities now have a limit, a maximum number of international students they can enroll each year,
Yeah.
potentially even in specific courses.
Right, so it's not an open door anymore, even if you qualify.
Exactly. What this means for you, the applicant, is a really critical need to apply early. Get everything ready and submit well in advance.
To secure a spot before the cap is hit.
Precisely. With these limits in place, competition is almost certainly going to heat up, especially for those really popular courses at the top universities. It just reinforces that whole strategic planning aspect we keep coming back to.
Yeah.
It's not enough anymore to just meet the entry requirements. You need to be prepared, you need to be early to make sure you don't miss out, simply because the program is full due to these capacity restrictions. It's a fundamental shift, really, from a purely demand-driven system to one where supply is also being regulated.
Okay, wow. So let's try and pull this all together for you, listening. Our deep dive today, it's uncovered some absolutely crucial takeaways from this 2025 guide for Indian students looking at Australia. Those vital visa changes specifically, needing that confirmation of enrollment, the COE, before you apply for the visa, and understanding the new, more focused, genuine student test, the GST, those are non-negotiable now.
Absolutely central.
We've also really highlighted the strategic importance of choosing your course carefully, especially if linking it to PR pathways is part of your plan.
Thinking long-term.
Yeah, and underscored, maybe multiple times, the absolute necessity of early and really meticulous preparation every single step of the application.
Preparation is key.
So what does this all boil down to for you? Well, it means that while Australia, look, it absolutely remains a top-tier choice for international students, especially from India. Success now, maybe more than ever before, really hinges on understanding and adapting to these key policy updates.
You have to play by the new rules.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, being precise, and being strategic in your whole approach, your planning.
And maybe a final thought just for you to consider. How does this evolving landscape, international education generally, with these stricter but maybe ultimately clearer guidelines, how does that encourage a more, let's say, intentional approach, a more goal-oriented way of pursuing your global ambitions?
Interesting point.
It feels like it's less about just sort of applying broadly and hoping for the best now. It's
Mhm.
pushing towards strategically designing your whole journey,
Yeah.
your education, your potential career path, right from the very beginning, with real clarity, with purpose, and crucially, with a sharp understanding of these new rules of engagement.